All right, well, let's get started and try to figure out what are some of the skills that we should be learning, how should we be moving forward, and I'm at this point where I am a little bit lost. I don't really know what skills I need to be learning because I don't know them yet. That's kind of the thing of like, you don't know where you're going, you don't know what you don't know. So what I did is I went and I copy and pasted, let me make myself a little bit smaller. So I copy and pasted a whole bunch of job descriptions that I'm interested in. And I am going to ask ChatGPT about just like trying to get some insight of how I can move forward effectively. So what I'm going to do is come here and say, I am, or here are some of the job descriptions that I am interested in. I feel that I have a basic knowledge of, what do I want to say? Knowledge of basic tools such as Spring Boot, Java, Docker, JavaScript, Node.js, Express, microservice architecture. What are some of the other things that I've kind of done throughout these projects here on YouTube? So those actually, these ones I feel like encapsulate kind of the projects that I've done on YouTube. Now, looking back at my school, I actually did a few more projects. Like I had a networking class. I took a couple machine learning classes. I took an operating systems class. So I have other skill sets or projects that I've done in my other classes. Now, admittedly, that was actually a little while ago. It's kind of hard to believe that I've been working for almost 2 years now because it almost feels like, oh, I just graduated. But actually, hold on. That was a little bit longer than I thought, or than is in my head. In my head, I'm like, oh, that was probably like, I don't know, I feel like I graduated 6 months ago. Oh, I didn't graduate 6 months ago. I graduated about 2 years ago. Whoa, okay. Anyways, so I've done other projects. So I guess the formulation of the question, I can say like, uh, I am considering how I can move forward. One of the thoughts that I have is, now that I have these basic tools, I should move forward with learning larger scale systems or cloud or etc. Okay. So I'm trying to keep it very open right now, and this way ChatGPT can give me more. I'm trying to give ChatGPT more freedom to express itself, and later on, actually, I will put this down here. I'm gonna explicitly tell it like, please ask me any follow-up questions to better understand before you answer this question. Okay. So I'm just going to explicitly say that. But I don't know if this actually is the best way forward. Okay. Now, if this is the best way forward, how else can I'm just trying to give it a long description of my direction that I'm hoping to go and kind of what I'm hoping to accomplish. Okay, so I don't know if this is actually the best way to move forward. I am also thinking about cloning software companies. I don't know how to describe that. Like design X service, maybe software services, which I think might help me do what? Which might help me prepare for system design. Might help me prepare for system design while also giving me hands-on experience, and thirdly, giving me a tangible product to be able to showcase as evidence for competency of skills. Okay. I don't feel like this is done quite yet because I need to continue adding stuff to it. What do I want to... I'm trying to give it as much context before I press enter, because even though I put the prompt at here to ask follow-up questions, it always tries to jump to being very helpful right away. And other thing I want to say, no need to be overly polite. Okay. All right. So, overly polite, be analytical. Okay. Because if I just say no need to be overly polite, then it's going to take that as an input to mean be rude, which is not what I want. I don't want any emotion. I just want analyzing the situation, trying to figure out how we can move forward. The other thing that, here we go, that I am trying to do is to gain exposure to the different technologies, frameworks, and skill sets, or I don't know, sets. So it feels like I am doing two things, which is so actually I think I am trying to do many things right now. Okay, I am asking you how you think I should move forward. Okay, there's one other thing that I do. I'm going to add more here, but I want to make sure that it doesn't slip my mind before I write it. I not only want to focus on being able to get the job, but I want to set myself and my future team up for success. Meaning I want to increase my capabilities and what's a word? What would be the right word in this context? I want to increase my capabilities and competency in those skills that will be useful for the job. I'm just gonna put it competency for the job. I'm gonna keep it more general. I didn't like making it specific. Okay, how do you think I should move forward? I am trying. I don't know. Maybe this is okay. Let's press enter and just see what it says. Okay. Okay, so it's thinking. Okay, cool. Good. Think as long as you want. So we'll let that think while it's doing that. Take a little bit of a breather. I got back from Seattle today, so I finished work. I worked up in Seattle, work from home, and then drove down to Portland because I work in office here in Portland Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I work remote Friday and Mondays up in Seattle. So finished work, drove all the way here, and now I was like, all right, let's go. Let's make sure that we move forward and try to continue with the progress of doing this. So, okay, when I told it think as long as you want, it actually okay. Again, see, I told you it was gonna say if I say don't no need to be polite, it's gonna say rude, and now it's like blunt, but that's not what I want to. Just analytic, just no emotion. Okay. Here are quick clarifiers, then a concrete plan. You can start now and tune. Okay, rapid clarifiers, answer in line with numbers. Okay. Primary target, next job. So TikTok, infrastructure, machine learning, Amazon AWS, Annapurna, or plain backend at a big consumer company. So the jobs that I put in, right, like it's asking me, hey, is it just these jobs that you're curious about, or are you trying to do more uh, uh, like specific or more general to just a big tech company? Time you can commit realistically for 8 weeks. Okay. Willingness to learn Go deeply. Okay, that's actually a pretty good one because I don't want to be jumping around to so many different technologies. Because if I'm jumping around to, and again, I would classify Go as more of the base level tools, not some of the high level or mid-level skill sets of designing like a high complexity system. So the way that I was describing it last time was I feel like now I have the base level of tools for backend software engineering, which is the JavaScript, um, the Java, the Spring Boot, the API endpoints, the EJS, the all of these things, right? Like I have the basic understanding of the tools. Okay. Now what I need to do, what I'm trying to do is actually uh, get it to the next level. So trying to go from the basic tools to actually building, like understanding how the complexity, how big scale works. Okay. And so what I'm thinking is, I don't know if I want to continue to be at this lower level. Like Go, I believe that's a Google thing. Um, I mean, it would be awesome to learn. I would be willing to learn it if I needed it. But I also don't want to get so bogged down that I'm continually doing those things at level one and not moving up to level two. So that's why I'm not comfortable spinning up a small. So K8 is Kubernetes, uh, which, by the way, what they did was K for Kubernetes, okay, and then Kubernetes, the last letter is S, and there's 8 letters in between. So that way you don't need to write Kubernetes each time. Oh my goodness. It's such a funny way of doing that. Clusters locally on cloud and paying $20 to $50 per month if needed. Okay, so this actually is one of those things that I'm curious about. Like, is there I tried to go online and I was looking at different cloud providers to see if they offer free, like, low memory or storage. Like, I don't need anything big. I just want something to play with, right? And I was looking around to the different providers, and all of them that I saw required credit card information. And what I'm concerned about here is because I'm playing around, what if I make a mistake? What if I do some kind of mistake where all of a sudden I'm adding immense amounts of data to my database or my cloud? I'm doing a lot of operations or something like that, and bam, I just balloon my bill, and all of a sudden I'm on the hook for I have no idea, a $10,000 bill. Mm, see, I'm always very skeptical of that. So I was looking into it, and all of those. I looked at AWS, I looked at Google Cloud, and I looked at Azure. All three of them needed credit card information. I was like, okay. So, preference for machine learning infrastructure versus runtime network systems versus product backend. See, this is something I'm glad that it's kind of breaking this out because I'm not exactly sure what all of these different things are. Um, so obviously I can tell machine learning infrastructure. So is that going to be kind of the uh like what do these things mean? That's what I'm so I mean it sounds interesting. All three of those sound pretty interesting, but like w- at the end of the day, what is it actually doing? Like what skills do I need? What right? Like I how do I even say that? Like I don't know what it is. It sounds interesting. It sounds pretty cool. Okay. What do you want to show on a portfolio? Scale, system depth, cloud, or ads. I mean, to be honest, actually working at an ads department would be pretty cool because ads, if you have experience with ads, that's where the money is made. So that's where the company is going to be investing a lot of their resources because that's where they're getting the money. And every company needs it. So it's like a really in demand field because that's the lifeline of the company and it's going to be heavily like invested in. The other one, obviously, I'm interested in like machine learning. And so if I'm able to be in the infrastructure of it, so the back end software engineering, which is what I want, not the machine learning engineer, but the software engineer to work on the machine learning systems. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then runtime networking and systems. Um, possibly, possibly. Product backend. Sure. I mean, that's kind of what I'm going for, right? Backend software engineering. Yeah. Any constraints on using AWS, Google Cloud Provider, Azure credits? Okay. So, base plan, you can start now. All right. So, see, I told you it would be very eager to give me a base plan. And, oh, it gave me a pretty long one, too. Nice. Okay. So, let's see. Choose. Let's just read it and then we'll come back up here and answer some. So pick a lane, commit for 8 to 12 weeks. Choose one, all map cleanly to the job descriptions you posted. A. Okay, so it's going to give me three options. So let's kind of look at this. First one is machine learning platform, online infrastructure. So TikTok, machine learning infrastructure, online infra, shop ads. And then I also put one up there for Amazon. Yeah, so this one right here. So systems, runtime, machine learning infrastructure. This one right here. So that's what it's saying right here. So let's kind of look at the skill sets, because I'm not just going to take this at face value. I'm trying to just talk to it right now to try to figure out, kind of maybe organize my own thoughts as well, because it's like, whoa, there's so much. What's going on? Okay, so the stack is Go plus Python. Okay, so I'm pretty good at Python. I feel like I could learn Go if I need it. So I think I'm pretty good with just I again, I don't want to keep staying down at this level 1. I want to go to up to the level 2. Kubernetes, okay, so that's something that I haven't learned yet. Docker, I've already learned that. Okay, so Kafka, Redis, S3, so this is like storage. S3 is, I believe, an Amazon like AWS service. MySQL, Postgres. So we've done Postgres. CI/CD. I have not explicitly done CI/CD, and this is something that I've seen pop up many times on descriptions. So I need to be able to do that. You'll need job scheduling concepts. Okay, job scheduling. That's Kafka. Kafka is kind of the job scheduler. Oh wait, no, that's the event publisher. Kafka is event publisher, right? Yeah, I think Kafka is the subscriber or publisher subscriber model that it kind of orchestrates that. Is Kubernetes? That's kind of the orchestrator of containers. So, job scheduling, okay. Streaming plus batch. Okay. Model servicing patterns. Model servicing patterns, okay. Microservices slash observability. Services slash observability. What would be, wait, why is observability with microservices? Microservices isn't like an architecture. Observability means like you're monitoring. Maybe it means monitoring the microservices? I'm not sure. Capacity and optimization, infra planning. Okay. So again, we have Python. So I think that's fine. Um, or tools. Okay. So Postgres, Kafka for events, yeah. Kubernetes, Prometheus. I think Prometheus is monitoring. I think so. I'm not sure actually. I don't know. You'll need bin packaging, service placement, cost modeling, what if simulation, SLO, SLA thinking. Okay. I Systems runtime, AWS, custom silicon adjacent. Okay. So stack is C. Now, at my job, I do C. So I have that covered. I have C covered. That's fine. Linux, peripheral tools. I haven't used that. Sockets. Okay, we can play around with sockets. I remember doing that in my networking class. So that can be something we do. Okay. You'll need networking fundamentals, okay? We can go through like the OSI model and try to understand it better. Memory CPU profiling. Memory CPU profiling. Okay. Low latency, RPC patterns, driver runtime awareness. So I've written multiple drivers, like a lot of drivers. I2C drivers to electrical components on boards. So if you're unsure, pick A. Okay, fastest return on investment for Fang style backend aligns with multiple TikTok roles. Why is it kind of ignoring the other one that I put the Amazon one there too? It's kind of ignoring that. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Anyways, so it says to do this one if I'm unsure. And quite on, like, as I said, like, all three of them sound interesting. But it's so difficult for me to even know the destination that I'm going. And trying to pull the curtain back and say, okay, well, what actually is software engineering? What actually is this? I think it's really cool to be able to build these huge giant systems and be able to work on these kinds of systems and technologies. But I don't. I I need to actually look in and see like what actually is it? What's going on? Okay. Build one flagship project. Okay, so talking about just doing one project that's like really uh amazing. Now, again, this is kind of I'm of mixed opinions of this right now, and I'll tell you why. So, what I was thinking about doing is actually doing more of an exploratory phase where I explore right now that I've got the basic tools, now I need to go and do exploration of the different technologies and frameworks. And then I was thinking about doing those cloning of services at the same time. So doing that kind of in parallel, that way I get an exposure of many different technologies, frameworks. So maybe I do a little bit of Redis, maybe I do a little bit of Kafka, maybe I do a little bit of what was the other one that I was mentioning? Uh, Prometheus. Maybe I do a little bit of, right, like all of these, just playing around with these different technologies. Then on the other hand, literally, on the other hand, okay, that's funny. So anyway, on the other hand, we have things such as doing those clonings. So that would help me with the system design and understanding how the components fit together. So how these frameworks fit together. And I think that that kind of plays well off of each other. So both of them kind of positively reinforce each other. What this is telling me to do is pick a really good project. And quite honestly, I don't think I feel like I would need to play around with these technologies a little bit more than pick a really good project. I don't know. So, build one flagship project. Resume ready in 8 to 12 weeks. Okay. So that's what, 2 months in the best case. 2 months. It might even be assuming that I am able to dedicate 40 hours per week. I mean, I work on the weekends. How long do I actually work? Like, how many hours do I actually put in over the weekend? I don't know. I feel like it's a lot. But I don't think it's 40 hours worth. And that's obviously due to my job, right? Monday through Friday, I have to do my job, and then also driving back and forth from Portland to Seattle is a little bit tiresome right now. But I don't know if it's assuming that I have 40 hours to actually dedicate. Um okay, so feature store light, machine learning infra, online offline feature store with point in time correctness and streaming backfills. Okay. So it's giving me, like, if I want to do the first option, option A, it's giving me a project that it suggests. B, it's giving me this project. C, it's giving me this project. Okay. Then it says fill. We'll go up and look at those projects in a second. Fill in the skills gap. Targeted, not scattershot. Okay. Pick go for TikTok and get to effective level in 3 to 4 weeks. Currency patterns, worker pools, like race conditions, benchmarking, escape analysis. So is Go like a multi-threaded language that... Okay. So one of the things that I was finding out with the different technologies, C has its own kind of ecosystem, and what I mean by that is the C language has certain tasks that it is specialized to accomplish. Now, technically, I think within any programming language, you can accomplish any task, right? That's kind of the idea. I believe it's Turing completeness or something like that. Like, any task can be completed by any programming language, but certain languages have ecosystems that they are kind of specialized towards. So C has a certain tech or section that if you learn C, you're probably going to be learning a lot of those concepts. Then when I was learning JavaScript, it had its ecosystem, or not ecosystem, because that means like the libraries around it. But what I'm meaning is kind of the niche that it occupied within the tech world. Okay, then Java was, there was some overlap between like Java and JavaScript in terms of like their niche. For example, both of them are good for like server side logic. So Node.js with JavaScript. I think it's Tomcat, which Spring Boot was loading up in Java. Where was I going with this? Oh, right, Go. So does Go provide a different type of like section? If so, do I? Okay, then that would maybe I would need to. But again, I'm very hesitant because I really want to get out of this level one. I want to go to that level two. And if it's like multi-threading concurrency, well, I mean, I've done that with C, right? You can do C and C++ both have multi-threading capabilities. You can do like fork and joins and mutex locks, semaphores, all of those things. So I've done that. If it's just the same thing but in a different language, it's like, okay, then it's fine. Um, so distributed systems. Distributed systems. Topics to internalize. 2 to 3 weeks. Idiom. Anyways, that idiom potency. Idiom potency. Okay. Exactly once versus effectively once. Back pressure. Retry back off. Okay, this I believe I learned this in networking. It's when you have a node that is kind of overwhelmed with packets, you can do like an exponential back off. So you don't just keep throwing packets at it over and over and over and over and over, just constantly overloading it. You you say, okay, that node failed to respond. I'm not going to send it packets for X amount of time. Maybe let's just say 1, right? 1 second. Then after a second, you try to send it again. It still fails. So now you say, okay, I'm going to do 2 second wait. So you wait 2 seconds, send it, still fails. I'm going to do 4 second, then send it, passed. Okay, good. The node is up, so you can send things. Let's retry poison queues. Okay. Caching, writing down through write back, cache, stampede, protection, consistency models, leader election. Okay. Qualium, replication, when not to shard. Okay, sharding I know is like splitting up your data among multiple different databases or something like that. SLO, error budgets, canaries. I mean, I know canary in terms of like canary in a coal mine, so I can kind of extrapolate what that might be. Progressive delivery. Okay. My goodness. Infrastructure and tooling, parallel. And by the way, just for the record, if I actually did have a full 40 hours of 40 hours, or if I actually had just like this was my only thing that I needed to do, I didn't have my job, I would do so much more than just 40 hours per week. I would go like 7 days a week. Anyways, I go 7 days a week right now. I just split that between trying to learn backend software engineering and my job, embedded systems engineer. Okay. Where was I mean, it's highlighted. I don't know why I asked where I was. I was just trying to think. It's almost 1 a.m. So Yeah, that makes sense. Infrastructure and tooling parallel with project. Okay, so Kubernetes basic deployments, high performance. Never mind, I thought it was going to be like high performance clusters, but that's HPA, whatever that means. Pod distribution budgets, affinity, anti affinity, request limits. Okay, CI/CD. Okay, great. Finally, something that we've kind of seen before. GitHub Actions, container registry. So we've done container registry. That was with the Eureka server. We have not yet done GitHub Actions. It's something I probably should do. Helm chart, simple. Ah, I said Prometheus was monitoring. I was right. Observability. Okay. Data plane samples, lightweight. Okay. Kafka. We have partitions, customer groups, rebalancing, offsets. So, okay, the converting indices. So yeah, we've done Postgres, but it was just like adding something to the database and taking away something from the database. So we need to go more in depth. So that's kind of what this is talking about. So here's a lot of the skills, and here's how you can actually take them to the next level. So this would be more of that idea of what I was mentioning of playing around with different technologies. So this is kind of the technologies that I might actually be interested in playing with. So like converting indices, partial indices, vacuum, all of those things. For capacity optimization, tracks specifically linear MIP. Okay. Constraint, feasibility. Okay. For systems runtime, track specifically Linux perf. Okay. Time for or flame graphs. BP trace. Okay, so this section is actually pretty helpful because it's telling me a lot of the things that I should be kind of like how to go deeper in a lot of these technologies. So that's pretty good. Lightweight open source contributions, pick repos that match the lane. Small surgical pull requests matter. So, machine learning infra. So, open telemetry collector, exporter, bug metrics doc, torch serve, bento ml, small fixes, cube flow. Okay. Capacity or tools, example or wrapper documents. There are fast and give you credible receipts. Okay, so that's kind of when I was mentioning that I wanted something tangible to be able to show. So system design cadence, 3 short prompts per week. Rate limiter. Okay, so I need to learn about rate limiters, feed generation, async pipelines, counters, aggregation. By the way, just a side note. I don't know if I should say this, but it just feels so it feels pretty overwhelming. Like first off, I feel kind of like I'm just in this dark forest that I don't know where I'm going. I have a little flashlight and I'm just trying to find my way in the dark and I have no idea where I'm going. And then I just see like there's so much there. I don't even know what it is, right? But there's just so much there. And every time I take a peek behind something, there's just this entire world that I never even knew about. And I'm like, oh my goodness. On one hand, it's like, wow, that's kind of cool that there's so much there. On the other hand, it's just overwhelming. It's like, how will I learn it all? and learn it all quickly. Okay. But the way we were going to do it is one step at a time. That's how we're going to do it. Okay. Rate limiter, feed generation, async pipelines, counter aggregation, artifacts and bullets, convert metrics plus constraints into bullets. Okay, 10 to 12 hours per week. That's 100% doable. I can do 10 hours in one day for like Saturday and Sunday. So that's 20 hours per week. And then whenever I get off work, I have maybe like 1 or 2 hours. Usually I'm pretty tired after I get off work. So yeah, that's completely fine. That's doable. Build. So 6 hours on building, scope 1 feature. But again, I am not sure that this is exactly the direction that I'm going to go. It's more of I'm trying to find a map right now. I'm trying just to get the lay of the land. There's so much. Okay, so it's talking about leak coding. Now, what I'm thinking about with leak coding is it's kind of a self-balancing situation. And what I mean by that is I've gotten to the point where I can kind of solve some mediums. I have like a 30 or 40% chance of solving a medium. Okay. And I usually kind of know when I see a problem, I kind of know the direction that I want to solve it. So I got to that, and it took me a long time to get to that point. But now what I'm thinking is if I get an interview, I can shift my attention away from the project because the project means, or if I get an interview, that means that they saw in me something that, hey, this person is qualified, right? So, okay, now it's time to shift all of my attention to leak code and just drill in on leak code. And for the time until the interview, I can try to do leak code, leak code, leak code. And then there's two options. Number one, I succeed, and okay, great. Now it's time to put all that energy into preparing for the job. Or number two, I don't succeed. Okay, fine. Well, I just spent 2 weeks hyper fixated on leak code. Well, I got better at leak code and I improved my skills. And okay, well, I'm better off for next time. Then go back to the projects. Now it's time to get another interview. See, it's kind of a self balancing thing. So I'm not sure. Maybe I should just do leak code like one or two problem. Just make sure that I don't forget it. I mean, to be kind of honest, like sometimes just doing a leak code or just studying leak code. I never thought that I would say this, but here it goes. Sometimes when you're just like constantly doing projects, it's just nice to just go and study the concepts of just an algorithm. Just like, I don't know, it mixes things up a little bit. Okay, so let's see, talk Linux, latency, throughput. Your embedded background becomes an asset. Hey, I like that. I like that. Cool. One, primary target. I don't even know much about what those jobs would actually do. I did ML projects in school. I think it would be cool to work on large scale systems, and I know I want to be at a big tech company. So whatever, like Amazon, TikTok, Google, Facebook, Snapchat. What are some of the other ones in Seattle? Oh, Office. Microsoft is there. Okay, so. Okay. Time commitment, I'm just going to say 20 hours per week. I'll just 20. Willing to learn Go. More of the scale integration. Learning Go seems to be going back to learning simple tooling. So I would need a really good reason to learn Go. Okay. Comfortable spending up. Okay. So I'm just gonna say I don't want to spend money. And that's because I can't afford some kind of thing where my credit card gets just spun up to a huge number. 5, preference for data machine learning infrastructure versus runtime networking systems. I have no idea. I don't know. 6 is what you want to show on a portfolio. Scale, system depth, scale would mean like breadth, right? Breadth, depth, or cloud. I don't know this either. Oh. I really have no idea because I am trying to get into the software engineering field, so I don't exactly know what or where I should be going. Okay. 7 is any constraints. Those require credit card info, even for the free tier. I don't want to do that because I don't want to accidentally go over the free and balloon my bill. Okay. Oh, I forgot. Did we not really look at these? We didn't really look at these ones, right? Okay. So it said, although it might give me a different suggestion, but it was talking about the flagship projects. It might be good for me just to look at it and see maybe where we're going. Offline batching, Redis as low latency, KV store, backfills, daily batch job, Python, streaming deltas. I mean, to be honest, I don't even know what any of this means, like at all. At all. And that's why I was kind of mentioning at the beginning of this is I don't think it's time for me to jump into a big project right now. Honestly, I think it's time for me to play around with a lot of these different technologies, all of these little things, S3, whatever, Postgres. Obviously, we've done Postgres, like we added and deleted data, but it's time to dig deep into it. Play around with whatever streaming deltas is, Kafka, all of these things. Like play around with that, build these little play clones of services. And then once I actually understand what these words mean, then it's time that we can build a bigger project. That's what I'm thinking. And so I'm kind of disagreeing with the way that ChatGPT is uh, like nudging me the direction, but it's giving me amazing information about kind of the lay of the land, which is exactly what I was hoping for. Okay, so designed and shipped a multi-tiered tenant feature store. Go, Redis, Postgres, supporting P99. Does that mean like 99% probability? Um, 12 milliseconds. So this is the latency, online lookup, point in time correctness, blue and green rollouts. Okay, so a lot of data metrics as well. Capacity planning. I mean, sounds pretty cool. Like in terms of like if I'm able to do the project, like that's pretty awesome, right? But I don't know if maybe I need to go and learn the technologies first before I just jump right into things. I don't know. Turn business demand forecast into placement migration plans. Planner service. What if and produce placement. Oh, there's a lot. Okay. Okay, this helps a lot. You don't actually need to commit to ML infrastructure versus capacity versus runtime right now. You need to A, get a job in big tech, and B, not get stuck doing only low level firmware work forever. Um, so apparently it is drawing knowledge from my other conversations. Because I didn't mention anything about being a firmware engineer, but it knew it. So it obviously is taking from my other conversations that I've had with it. So it knows that I'm a firmware engineer. So the real question is, what's the shortest, clearest path that shows you can build and reason about large scale backend systems without burning time on stuff you may never use? Yes, but I also want to learn, right? So there, like, yes, I do want to get there, and I do want to get there in a direct fashion, but I also want to make sure that I'm building my competency, which is why I stated I not only want to focus on being able to get a job, but I want to set myself and my future team up for success, right? It's kind of what I'm hoping. So it says skip Go for now. You're right. Go is just a tool. Yeah, I, I'm fully confident in my ability to learn a programming language. That's not something I need to do. It's common for infra jobs, but learning it from scratch won't suddenly make you competitive. Yeah. Um, what companies care about is that I can reason about scale, distributed systems, reliability, and trade-offs. Okay, that I was watching a lot of those system design videos online, and that's kind of what they were talking about: is scale, distributed systems, reliability. What are the trade-offs of using one thing versus the other? When would you use like SQL versus no SQL? When would you use caching versus just some like a database, or all of those different trade-offs that you can do. So that's more system design right there, which is awesome. We need to learn that. You can implement those ideas in any mainstream backend stack. And yeah, I already know. Local cloud simulation. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. If I can simulate it on my host, that's actually exactly what I want. You can get 95% of the benefits of cloud experience without giving AWS my credit card. That's exactly what I want, because what's the worst case thing that could happen? I just use up all of my memory and then I need to go and delete it. Okay. Right? It's not like there is a hard stop. It's my memory on my MacBook. It's not, oh, I'm going to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. And then here's your bill, right? And now you're like, what? So, okay. So, Docker Compose, we've already done that. Simulate clusters on my laptop. Mini IO, S3, compatible storage. Okay, actually, see, this is kind of cool. Like, I wouldn't have known about that before. So, Mini IO, S3 storage. Okay. Local stack, AWS, API simulator. Ah, that's cool. Okay, Postgres, Redis, Kafka, Confluent local image, Prometheus, Grafana. Okay. So focus on large-scale back-end integration skills. Right now, you have toy microservice skills. To move towards Fang/TikTok level jobs, you need to show system design skills. Okay, yeah. Integration skills. Operations mindset. Okay. That's the gap between I built a REST API in Spring Boot and I can contribute to TikTok's infra team. So, how to move forward with 20 hours per week. I feel like there was a question here. Uh, questions is going to be one. I'm going to say if I have, or not if, but when, whatever. Okay. If I have free time, I want to go on YouTube and watch videos of these different technologies and get the lay of the land and get the idea. Can you make a list of those technologies, frameworks, etc. that with no long description. Just no long description. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So how to move forward. Pick one resume quality project that forces you to write multiple systems. So event-driven analysis pipeline. What would you suggest I watch? No, because then it's gonna just give me the videos. I don't want the videos. Like I can look the videos up myself. Service A, REST API that ingests events. User like to post, Kafka, buffers. Second question is, can you explain more about these different subfields? I don't really know what infra is actually doing on a day-to-day basis, or what it is. Same thing for the other ones you mentioned. Okay. Touches 80%. Okay, phase 2, system design. Find bottlenecks, add back pressure. Oh, there's a lot of back pressure. What's back pressure? Replica. I just this in like I don't know. We'll just let it do what it thinks. Okay. I'm gonna do this. Okay. So we've already done that. GraphQL, I have not done that yet. Redis, Cassandra, Amazon S3, Mini IO. Okay, cool. Messaging and streaming, awesome. Infrastructure and orchestration. Okay. Observability. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep. I also wanted it to kind of compile a list of things that it was talking about, like, or did we just see it? Where'd it go? I don't know. Anyways, okay. Subfield explained simply. So infrastructure engineering. Build the plumbing that makes software run reliably at scale. Work on deployment pipelines, Kubernetes clusters. Okay. Load balancers. Okay, yeah. Monitoring and fault tolerance. Day-to-day debugging. Why services keep restarting the Kubernetes. Writing Helm charts. Setting up Prometheus alerts. Improving CI/CD. Okay. So build the systems that allow so infrastructure platforms. Build the systems that allow machine learning researchers to train and deploy models at scale. Okay, pretty cool. Not training the models, not making the data pipelines features, or not training the models, but making the data pipelines, feature stores, service or model servicing endpoints, job scheduling. Here we go. That's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, there we are. Day to day is writing APIs to fetch features from Redis S3, optimization, batch jobs on Spark, maintain Kubernetes job uh, that serve models. Okay, here we go. Capacity and optimization. So ensuring infra resources, server, CPU, memory storage are used effectively across data centers. Okay. Working scheduling, bin packing, migration, cost modeling, forecasting. Okay. Mental model, we make sure that infra is used effectively, not overpaying or wasting servers. Well, I like that. And the reason that why I say that is because it seems like it was saying that this one is more in line with embedded systems as well. So, um, so far these two seem pretty cool. Although, I mean, this one seems like the coolest. Oh wait, maybe it was saying this one is the embedded system. I can't remember. Anyways, uh, systems runtime, low level infra. We're close to the okay, so this must be the embedded systems one. Or custom hardware, optimize latency through concurrency, memory usage, drive. Okay, yeah, this is the one. Day to day debugging kernel level bottlenecks, writing in C or Go. Libraries profiling. Okay. Product backend. Build business facing features like ads. Here we go. Ads. That's cool. I like that. Ads, feeds, payments, e-commerce. Oh, I like this. Okay, so I like this one. And I like this one. Okay. I like these two. The most. But I mean, the thing about it is if I'm put here, I'm gonna like this one the most. Right? Like if I'm put here, I'm gonna like this one the most. It's just like wherever I'm put. Let's go. Let's go, go, go. Okay. Summary infra is development, reliability, observability. ML infra is pipelining, servicing, uh, or serving for ML. Okay. Scheduling, forecasting, efficiency. Systems is low level performance, and backend or product backend is user business features. Okay, so yeah, today I was just trying to talk with it, get an idea of okay, what are some of the ideas that I can move forward? What are some of the technologies that I need to put on my radar? Where am I going? And just trying to understand and break things down, systematize it, and actually get it into some kind of cohesive unit that I can actually understand instead of just this general thing of, oh, I feel like, okay, so software engineering, oh, there's so much. Okay, I'm going to pick backend. And now I'm looking, backend. Oh, okay. So I targeted backend and I did all of these things like the JavaScript and Java and blah 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 blah. And now I'm like, okay, now what? Oh, there's more specializations. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about many of them. I need to kind of understand it, and hopefully there's a lot of interconnect between these. But yeah, so that's what today's video was about. Just kind of exploring things, understanding what's going on. If you are interested in this, if you want to join me along in my journey, subscribe to this channel. I would love to have you around. I'm going to keep moving forward. I haven't decided exactly where I'm gonna head, obviously. But if that's interesting to you, subscribe. I would love to have you around, and I will see you guys very soon. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and goodbye.